Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining today for the Fitchburg Fire Department, Mark Malekish is back. We're talking grill safety today, and I noticed you didn't bring a grill to grill up something for me.
I didn't, but you know what I had for lunch? Chicken that I grilled last night.
No kidding.
That's right.
Well,
That's right.
let's just, before we dive into some safety here, there are so many types of grills now. So are you a flat top griller? Are you a smoker? Or are you just that traditional gas grill or charcoal?
All right, so
That's four.
If you're doing a steak, charcoal's the way to go.
100%.
100%.
Ding.
However, I use an LP grill at my house,
Ding. It's classic.
right? So
I've got both.
low and slow as much as I can,
Oh,
and just get a good sear on it, but leave some juice inside the meat.
all right. Well, low and slow, maybe that's a good spot to pick as we start on grill safety. You're pulling out the grills here for the first time of year. You're getting ready to light it up, and you didn't do any prep last winter. You just put it away, got it out, and are going to fire it up. Wowza. There's a lot of grease in there. There's a lot of leftover everything, and now you're off and running to a different thing.
So getting your grill ready for the season is really important. I'm a fire geek, so I do those types of things. But if you're using an LP grill, make sure that you don't have any gas leaks. If you're using a charcoal grill, make sure it's cleaned out. Make sure that you've done a nice job. And you've got a place to put your hot charcoal afterwards or when you're done using it, right? Preparation is key. Cleanliness, fires don't like clean. So if you keep your grill clean and you keep your grill area clean, the likelihood of a fire starting goes way down.
And when you're checking for leaks, well, backing up to the propane piece, you're checking for leaks. What's the best way to do it? I always read the literature and it just makes me laugh. Like, don't use a match to check for a leak. Like,
No.
I'm like, we're really going to have to say that?
Unfortunately, in today's world, we do. The best way to do it is use soapy water. So just get some soapy water, run it over the hoses, the connections, and if you see a bubble, that's an indicator that you've got a leak, and get that leak fixed before you fire up that grill.
And then as far as starting a grill, maybe there's some new grillers out there for a propane one, opening the lid or keeping it closed when you're starting it.
I still want to tell you a personal story, but I'm not going to.
We'll save that for off the air.
Yeah, we will. But open the lid. The whole premise behind using LP specifically is that it is a flammable liquid. So if you keep that grill closed and you just turn on the gas, there's a gas buildup in there. So when you push that igniter button, or if you light a match to it or use a lighter, it's going to go poof. And I have seen people that have literally blown the grates off of their grill because they left it closed.
Those are heavy, too.
Yeah.
Like, we're not, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess not all grates are made equally, but
Nope.
that's, wow.
It's a big poof.
And then cleaning out the grease trap. So if you didn't know, most grills have a catch for a grease trap.
They do.
And just usually there's a grease trap, but there's even a grease catch before that. So cleaning the grill too is probably another area to start as well.
Yep. Get that old stuff off. It's no different than cleaning out your oven or cleaning off your stovetop, right? You want a nice clean surface to cook on, first of all. But second of all of those old charcoal chips or pieces of meat that have turned into charcoal or whatever it happens to be, those can catch fire. And aside from the cleanliness issue, which can be a health thing too, right? But just clean it up. Make sure that you've done a good job cleaning it before you go out and throw a steak on there, throw pork chops on, whatever it is you're making.
So back to low and slow. The pastime might be to go grab your favorite beverage, and the kids are playing, and all of a sudden you're distracted, and you're not watching the grill, and oh no. So safety tip behind when you're cooking to be around the cooking device.
Yeah, there's a theme here, right? So cooking in the kitchen, you guys have heard me say it over and over and over again. Stay with what you're cooking. Pay attention to what you're doing. The same applies for the grill. I would say even more so, because if there's kids out in the yard playing ball, if you have pets and they're rambunctious, whatever it is, you want to make sure that somebody is right there by that grill to mind that, because it is an open flame.
Well, then I think too, like where I live, the wind can come. It's always windy.
Yep.
There's always some type of wind, and I'm always like, there's
Yeah.
not really a good place to grill. Like I've got it away from the house. I got it away from trying to do my best, but when I walk away, it just feels like, oh boy.
Yeah, and speaking of that, right, a good distance from the house. So the recommended distance is 10 feet. If you're 10 feet from a structure, odds are 10 to 1 that, 10 to 1. Odds are pretty good that you're not going to run into a big problem. But as much distance as you can get from that grill and the structure, better off.
Let's go back to charcoal grill. So when you're done with the grilling, you've enjoyed your meal, you're left with some charcoal that's still kind of burning. You're not sure. What's the recommendation after you're done, and that kind of the timing, and ultimately where should those end up?
So there's two things that you can do. One is to have a metal container that you can put those charcoals bricks in, dump them in. Has to be metal, and it have to keep it away from the building. Otherwise, it stands a chance of spreading. If you're going to let it cool within the charcoal grill itself, and then thinking maybe you're going to throw it in your garbage can or whatever, the rule of thumb, if you can put your hand in it, get your hand dirty and not get burned, then it's safe to go in the garbage can. If you can't or you wouldn't, then it's not yet ready to go into a garbage can.
I wouldn't even put my hand in there. Oh my gosh! Like you get your hand close enough,
Yeah. So that's just that indicator of, is it too hot to put into a garbage can? And I've seen plenty of fires where it's gone into a garbage can or a dumpster, and that garbage can or a dumpster is typically right next to a house or a building, and it gets into the vinyl siding, and you're off to the races.
I've told you on the show that the previous owner to my house had their grill too close to the house, and I can see where the siding was melted from the grill, or else I had a meteor hit the house, one or the other. I'm going to go with the grill, though. Let's talk about what property owners, residents, managers all should know when it comes to the fire code. We've actually kind of mentioned a few already, but we'll just run through these really quick here. When it comes to just your regular family home, where should the grill be in relation, for what it's worth?
So 1 or 2 family homes are not considered commercial, and that's where the fire code sort of makes its definition break. So 1 or 2 family homes, there is no fire code that regulates it. Although I'm still going to tell you that 10 feet from the structure, and if possible, not on a combustible surface like a deck, wooden deck, or a Trex deck or something like that, is even better. So on the ground, 10 feet from the structure, that's ideal. If you're in a multifamily, which the fire code considers 3 units or above, which does include condominiums, it absolutely cannot be on a combustible deck, either at ground level or above. And for those, you just set it out into the yard or the green space, 10 feet from the structure, and you can grill all day long, depending on your local lease rules or whatever complex rules there are with apartments.
Quite a few of especially the newer complexes that have gone in, have actually set up grilling areas or communal grilling areas. So, if you're really interested in grilling and you're going into a multifamily situation, you ought to probably look and see if they got that feature, because if you really are into it.
And it's specifically that reason. We run into it with fire inspections all the time. And it's very regular for us to write those as a violation, because the individual owners or renters don't know that they're not supposed to have a grill on their deck, right? Or patio, or whatever you call it. So we work directly with the management companies to say, look, here's some literature. We're going to leave it to you guys to enforce, and if we find one on somebody's apartment, we're going to let you know, and it'll be up to you to handle it.
Finally, just in general terms, how many cooking fires does Fitchburg Fire Department respond to, whether it's grilling or kitchen fire related? Because I think that's a shocking statistic in general here in Fitchburg. And it's not just to Fitchburg, but we live in Fitchburg. This is Talking Fitchburg, so...
I haven't looked at the recent numbers, so I'm not going to quote you a number, but I will tell you that the number one, nationwide or in Fitchburg, the number one cause of fires is cooking fires, whether it's outside grilling or inside cooking in the kitchen. And the number one way to stop that is to stay with what you're cooking. Pay attention to what you have right there until that heat is turned off and you're done.
And I'll tell you, I think, you could say, well, gosh, you guys talk about this every single year. When I have the Department of Ag Trade Consumer Protection here, we have the same things that we talk about. Said you'd be surprised on how much it continues to happen over and over again. Yeah. So it's good reminders, because it's when you turn your back, it's when the least time you expect it, that's when it happens.
Yeah, the bonus for me coming on Talking Fitchburg is I can always talk about cooking fires, right? Because there it is. That's the number one place that fires start.
Well, Mark, I appreciate the information, and hopefully you do as well out there. If people have any questions or concerns about cooking fires in general, or just not sure about the code or just general questions, how can they get a hold of you?
You can always reach me at Firehouse 1-270-7070. My email address, go out on the website. And call with questions. I'm happy to talk one-on-one with anybody that wants to talk about this and point them in the right direction.
And you learned today what his favorite grilling is. So, now we know he grills, so you probably can get a recipe out of him too or something.
I'm not the greatest griller in the world, but I am not bad. Not bad at all.
I don't believe that for a second, Mark. Not for a second. No. Mark, appreciate the time as always. Stay safe out there.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thank you.